Canon John Turner.
He got this Bible when he was at college.
The notes John Turner left in his Bible are revealing.
Except a man forsake all, underline, that he hath, he cannot be my disciple.
Turner began his ministry among the Inuit in the late 1920s. In God's providence, his assignment took him to the very shores where Anguitizawak had led his people into a new covenant. Only two institutions preceded Turner's arrival in Pond Inlet: the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Hudson's Bay Company. But the tiny community would become an important spiritual beachhead. Joan Hobart was living in John Turner's hometown in England when she first met him. He was home on furlough and spoke at her church. His stories of the Arctic were riveting. As a young Bible student, Joan was in awe of this man of God.
My friend said, I think he's interested in you. I said, oh no, he's a well-seasoned missionary, you know.
But he was interested.
He said, will you come and join life up there? And I said, yes.
But the missions board said no. Arctic living was too harsh and no place for a woman. John went back without her. Joan would wait in faith. 3 years passed without a single letter from the north. Then one day, a telegram. Permission granted. Bring ring, cake, and wedding dress. The trip was dangerous. The world was at war. German U-boats were patrolling the North Atlantic. The last leg of the 2-month journey was aboard a supply steamer called the Nescope. The vessel stopped only once each year to offload food and mail. It was a long journey to the middle of nowhere, all based on a single telegram and a lot of faith.
I was a bit nervous because I thought, now suppose he comes and doesn't really want me. And so I went downstairs into the saloon. I said, well, I think I'll marry the first man that comes aboard. So fortunately, Jack came in a little rowboat and came and found me. So I think it turned out all right.
She and Jack, as she called him, were married that afternoon. They spent their honeymoon in an igloo they built together. As a newlywed, Joan learned how to use a coal stove, how to melt ice to make water, and how to make a home at 40 below.
I had to learn how to cook seal. I wasn't good at it at the beginning. Oh dear.
Childbirth and medical care were strictly home style, for the nearest hospital was too far. John Turner's love for the Inuit is clearly seen in his personal movies, and the love was reciprocated. Here was an Anglo who wore the ways of the North like a second skin. Local elders say he became more Inuit than the Inuit. He learned their language and translated the scriptures. He taught school using the Bible as his text. Most remarkable of all were John Turner's epic missionary expeditions. Traveling by sledge and often alone, he scattered spiritual seed across a parish larger than most nations. A 7-month journey in the winter of 1938 to 39 covered an astonishing 3,000 miles. Turner's church in Pond Inlet was the first of its kind, a vibrant ministry that continues to the present day.
Every day was special to her because that's the first time she had known about Bible and prayer.
Lydia was a little girl when Canon John Turner taught her the gospel. 50 years later, the precious truths still bubble up in song. Cornelius Nutugak grew up with memories of a coming glory.
John used to say to us, there's a life after death. It is very beautiful, and it's called heaven.
Turner was God's man in the Arctic, but the heaven he preached of was not so far away.
The gun went off and he fell back.
Arriving home from a hunting trip, he saw a child struggling with a heavy load of ice. As he bent down to help, his shotgun slid off his shoulder and fired.
It went up here into the back of his head.
The effort to get Turner to a hospital made international headlines. Soldiers parachuted in with medicine to stabilize the badly wounded minister. As paralysis set in, Joan was John's nurse day and night, bathing him, turning him, giving injections. She had 2 toddlers and was nearly 8 months pregnant. It would be weeks before the ice could support the landing of a rescue plane. The restless and hungry soldiers were now added to Joan's burden.
I went into Jack and I said, oh, I just can't do this anymore. I'm so tired. And I began to cry, I think. And he said, well, they are my guests. We must do what we can for them.
When John Turner had nothing left to give, he gave a little more. Weeping Inuit besieged the Turners as they set out for the frozen lake. Although John could barely speak, he led them in prayer. Shortly thereafter, Canon John Turner died in a Winnipeg hospital. 3 weeks after his funeral, his 3rd daughter was born. Joan named her Faith.
I found my dad's Bible the other day in my mum's bookshelf, and
Although Faith never met her
it
father,
was wonderful.
he is no stranger.
A book. I just was flipping through it, and I came across this that he'd written at the back. And I determined henceforth I would seek no appropriation, but that of God. Did I ever start on a life of happiness and holiness? But from that day until now, I've been content to live alone with God. And I just saw in it what my father's heart was like, to just, go after what God has spoken to him.
John Turner died long before he went to the Arctic. He knew that unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. That was his vision. Joan has seen it too.
I had a vision once of all the young people coming through the streets, singing hymns and things. In a vision, it will work one day. Yeah, it will come to pass.
Like many in the Pond Inlet community, James Ariak sees himself as a spiritual descendant of Ongwetizawak and a spiritual disciple of John Turner.
The planting of the word occurred into our parents, and our parents, through the planting of the seed, bore fruit.